YouTube, so today we're going to be going into the Magistus deck profile. And this is a deck that I actually really want to make, but it is very expensive. So getting into it, you play 3 Crowley, 3 Zorua, 3 Endymion, 3 Rilliona, 3 Mastery, 3 Small World, 1 Invocation, 2 Veritera, 3 Trismagistress, I'm not sure. 1 Reborn, 3 Ghost Spell, 3 DT Crow, 3 Drone Lock, 3 Effect Failure, 3 Infinite Impermanence, and 1 Upstart. For the extra, 2 Ios, 2 Zorua, 1 Vahram, 1 Narua, I'm not sure, 1 Abyss Dweller, 2 Rilliona, 1 Borosword, Ningirsu, Phoenix, and 3 Artemis. So yeah, so none of these really, the thing with these is that you can play a lot more, you can play a lot more like different cards in your extra deck. You can really play like whatever you want, because the only card that really locks you into Magistus or into anything for that matter is Rilliona. So it says that you can't really special summon anything else besides a Magistus monster from the extra deck while after the turn you used its effect. And it special summons one from the deck. It's a very good effect, but you're not always going to use it. And at the same time, most of the time, you're just going to go into Zorua because it's such a powerhouse. Zorua basically says that if you'd synchro summoned, you can equip a Magistus monster from your extra deck to this card. Your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters with the same card type, fusion, synchro, exceed, or link as a Magistus monster in your spell and trap card zone. If it's in your graveyard, target a Magistus monster card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon it. You can only use its effect once per turn. So typically, you're actually going to use Crowley and Zorua as material into Zorua, and then you're going to equip your Ios, because typically you've already gone through Artemis, because Artemis is just a link 1 and you can get through to that very easily. And then you're going to banish Crowley from your graveyard and equip your Artemis back into the Zorua, so your opponent is locked out of link monsters and fusion monsters. And this is very good because most decks use link monsters and the other decks use fusion monsters. So yeah. You also have the option of Synchro or Xyz if you are going up against one of those matchups. But typically right now, you see a lot of link decks, and you see a lot of fusion decks. So I figured those are the best two, and then you're going to equip it back, and it's, very good. You typically want to see 2 Magistus cards, or sometimes if you can actually go, if you specifically have Magistus Invocation, as well as 2 other spellcasters, like Drone Lock Bird and Effect Failure, you can actually make Ios by itself without having to go into any of the Magistus cards. But that is a very rare occasion, and hopefully you won't see too many hands like that. Play 18 ways to get into a Magistus card. Typically 2 is pretty good. Anything less than that is not so great, but yeah. So yeah, this deck is very fun. It plays very interestingly, very odd. So you're a lot of the time you can normal summon a card, and then you can link it into Artemis, and then when you special summon another card, or if you happen to, so it says if another Magistus monster is normal or special summoned while you control it, you can target one of those monsters, equip this card to that card. So typically, if you go, Effect Failure, link it off into Artemis, and then you special summon Crowley from your hand, you're going to equip your Artemis onto your Crowley, and then you're going to activate its effect to add a Magistus monster from your deck to your hand. And that is a very powerful effect. Rilliona allows you to add your spell and traps from your deck to your hand. This card allows you to equip a Magistus monster from your extra deck to it, so you can equip the Artemis and then gain gain a search that way. And then you can also destroy a card in your spell and trap card zone to draw a card and then place one card from your hands at the bottom of the deck. So it is basically like its own full combo, because you can Endymion allows you to use its effect normal summon to then equip it Artemis. Artemis gets a search, then you pop it and you draw another card and send one from your hand to the bottom of the deck. So that is very good. Zorua is going to allow you to special summon one from your hand. If you equip one Magistus monster, you can target one Magistus monster you control, equip it with a Magistus monster from your extract. If this card becomes equipped with a Magistus monster, you can special summon a level 4 spellcaster from your hand or graveyard in defense position, except itself, but its effects are negated. So you can make some very interesting plays with that. That is typically how you're going to make Zorua. You can also special summon Crowley and do it that way. You have a plethora of ways to get into your combo. And of course, with Trismegius and Magistus Vera and Monster Reborn, you have another lot of ways to get into it. And then Crowley allows you to send a spellcaster monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard to special summon it. So that is where Droll and Lockbird and Effect Veiler come in, because they are both spellcasters, so you can summon them into the graveyard to special summon itself. And then when it's in your graveyard, it also allows you to change its attribute, but that never really has mattered for me. You can also banish it from your graveyard and equip a target a Magistus monster you control, equip it with a Magistus monster from your graveyard, except a level 4 monster. And Reliona does the exact same thing when it's in the graveyard, which I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. You can do the exact same thing with Reliona. So you can equip another of your, another Magistus monster to your Synchro or Xyz or whatever. iOS also allows your monster to gain 1,000 attack, so that means that Zorua becomes very big very quickly. And if you have two, then it goes from 2,900 to 4,900. So, yeah, 4,900. So that is very, very good. Droll and Lockbird, the reason that you see it at 2 is because it is actually a small world target. I would not have played Droll and Lockbird because I don't consider it that good in this format. However, it is a normal summon to make Selene Artemis, and it is also a small world target, so you can banish it and get access into your Magistus monsters without having to go through Effect Veiler, because Effect Veiler is very good. However, it means that you don't have access to Reliona if you need it. So if you want to play one Droll and Lockbird and another hand trap and start with another hand trap, that's pretty good too. It just depends on what your preference is. And then, of course, your one Abyss Dweller. It comes up sometimes, but not that often, because most of the time Zorua is very good. But yeah. The other thing I will say with it is that it doesn't really have a way to like negate destruction. So, like, if your opponent just destroys this card, that's it. You really just can't. You can bring it back the next turn and equip it with another monster through Crowley and Reliona, but you can't actually just. It's just destroyed for that turn. Like, if they just Dark Hole it, your board's gone. So, that is the one really unfortunate thing about this deck. It's got some really powerful cards in its archetype, and it's a really cool deck. I don't think I've ever really needed to special summon any of your out of archetype cards, except Dweller, and even then I didn't really need to. However, Zorua not just being able to be destroyed so easily is very unfortunate. So, yeah, that's the profile. I really hope you guys enjoyed. You really should try this. I really recommend it. This is a very fun deck if you're looking for something new and just kind of that you haven't really tried before. I highly recommend this deck. And yeah, you could probably try Pot of Prosperity, but I think I forgot about that card. So, yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.